What's up, y'all? Otaku Tavern back with another video. Hope everybody is doing well tonight, or today if it's daytime where you're at. Gonna have a very another interesting thing to talk about here. So yeah. What we're going to be talking about tonight is another personal dating experience, and it seems to me that like quite a bit of people really liked that when I did the first one, to be honest. So why not go ahead and do it again, honestly? So I will, sorry, I'm mentioning somebody in my Discord server. Anyways, yeah, so this is going to be part 2 of an otaku's past dating experiences. So obviously each part will be a different female, obviously. And the person that I want to talk about in this video is a woman that I had dated back in 2012-ish. Late 2011, 2012-ish. And this one's going to be quite different from my usual, the way I talked about my past one. The thing that you will have in common with these, though, that you'll notice is the fact that they ended up cheating, right? So anyway, so I had this buddy, and this is going to sound kind of crazy, y'all. Like, I had this guy friend. His name was the same name as this girl, actually, and them two dated, right? And
I've got grace and power. You've got zip.
Basically, the story starts off, you know, one time I was at this guy's house. We was chatting, chilling, just kind of playing some games. I think at the time we were playing like Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. I was like playing with him. I wasn't really into it, but anyway, like, he had this girl friend. Her name was Taylor, right? And she would talk with him sometimes. And anyway, come to find out, this guy was cheating on this girl Taylor, the one that I'm talking about. And how I know this is the fact that he pretty much even admitted it to me. Like, plus I kind of saw him just texting like other females, like talking about like some very like intimate things, basically. Anyway, this story takes place when I was not a Christian. I'm gonna say that now. And the reason I'm saying this is because of some of the stuff that I'm going to be saying in this video. I'm not really going to go like word for word, but just kind of just hint at things like and stuff. So anyway, so yeah, this guy was cheating on this girl, and you know, I thought she was attractive. And
a few years.
All this stuff. So I walked for, gosh, it was quite some time.
I'm no pushover.
And it was like maybe a 30-minute walk to her house, right? And I walked this distance, right? because I had met this girl one day or one night, and we was like hanging out and stuff, and then, you know, I thought she was good looking, but anyway, that was a big mistake on my part. When I start talking about this, you'll know why. But anyway, so we're over at her house, right? And you know, we're just sitting there, we're chilling, you know, just kind of hanging out. This takes place when I was about, you know, I was 18, 19 years old at the time. I met her when I was 18. And, you know, I thought she was good looking and stuff. So, anyways, you know, after I found that out, you know, I was like, you know, I was like, oh, okay. So I literally walked for 30 minutes straight to this girl's house, right? And I knock on the door, like, you know, I got like all this confidence and stuff, right? And I knock on her door, and she answers the door, and it was this girl, Taylor, and she answers the door, and she's like, oh, well, hey, Luke, how you doing? I was like, you mind if I speak with you for a minute? And then she was like, yeah, sure. She's like, do you want to come in, or do you want to just talk out on the porch? Or, I mean, she's like, I'm watching Halloween Town on Disney. So I was like, oh, okay, that just makes this a lot more easier for me then. So I go in, and, you know, we're sitting there watching this, right? And I talked to her, I said, so how long have you been dating this guy, right? And she was like, oh, about like a month or two. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, well, I got something that I want to talk to you about. And she was like, yeah. I was like, this guy is pretty much cheating on you. I figured I would come over here and just tell you that, because, like, I want to be legit with you right now. I'm just over here shooting my shot. So I was like, and she was like, well, do you got like proof that he's cheating on me? I was like, yeah, let me bring it up. So I brought it up on my phone and showed her, right? And she was like, oh, well, and then she messaged him, and she like broke it off, right? She like didn't tell that I told him, like, or I told on him, basically. She just said, hey, I found out you're cheating on me through a friend of mine, and, you know, we're kind of done here, right? So anyway, we're sitting there just watching Halloween Town. I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna go home here in a minute, but there's something I want to talk to you about real quick. And then she was like, no, stay, like, you don't have to go home, like, I'm not mad at you or anything. And I was like, are you sure? I mean, like, I can go, you know, like, and she was like, no. She was like, you know, we can sit here and watch Halloween Town. I could kind of use your company. And I was like, okay, you know. So we sat and we watched that Halloween Town movie, right? And we got to talking, and she started asking me some questions, and she was like, you know, like, who like, what woman are you dating, right? And I was like, well, right now I'm not necessarily dating anybody. And she was like, are you looking? And I was like, I mean, And you know, we just sat there and actually kind of pretty much just kind of talked kind of like that for a while, right? And I was like, you know, I was like, look, I was like, I'm gonna be legit with you. Like, I think I was like, I think you're effing hot, right? Like, I was like, you know, if you need like a good man that'll treat you right and crap, I was like, I'm your dude. Like, and then she just kind of smiled about it, and I was like, what? I was like, she was just like, your confidence is like, she's like, not really kind of seen that much, really. I was like, I'm just shooting my shot, really. And then like, literally like 30 minutes after that, we started talking, right? And then literally 30 minutes after that, we got like talking kind of serious. And then, you know, because like, I thought she was hot, right? And, like, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted her pretty bad. Like, not like I did the last woman that I mentioned. Like, I'm not talking about, like, I didn't necessarily fall, like, massively in love with this woman. I mean, I loved her to a degree, but, like, it wasn't, like, how it was with the first girl that I talked about, Victoria, right? And so, anyways, we're sitting there talking and stuff, and we're just kind of chilling. Like, so, you know, we finished that movie, and then she's like, you want to go back to my house, like because this was at her parents' house, right? She was like, do you want to go back to my house, right? It's just literally right next to it. I was like, yeah, sure. And, you know, we was in there alone, you know, we was sitting there talking and stuff, and, I was like, this is like the most shittiest place I've ever seen. Like, I was like, I don't mean that to take offense to you, but like, this was like a very rundown kind of, like a 80s house kind of thing. Like, and she was like, well, she was like, it's kind of all I can afford right now, you know, my parents helped me pay for it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, sure, whatever, you know. But like, we was sitting there, you know, just kind of talking, chatting, chilling and stuff. And
Better run home to Mama now.
hey Rosa, hey man, hey Gigi.
Round one.
So, like, yeah, anyway, it was just, it was going pretty good, right? And, you know, like, I'm not gonna lie, my confidence was probably at its max. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it, you know, like, I was totally getting everything I wanted in that situation, right? And, you know, we was sitting there talking, and I was like, you know, she sat and I was like, I told her about that. She's like, well, let me sit and think about it for a few minutes. And she was like, because I do find you kind of cute. And I was like, kinda. And then she was like, I'm just kidding. Like, I do find you attractive, right? And then I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, she was like, I thought you was cute when you came over here before. And then I was like, oh yeah. And then I was like, you know, that's cool. I mean, I don't necessarily think I'm cute or anything, but whatever you say, right? And we sat there and talked.
Round two.
Hey, how's it going? On the I cannot pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Hi, welcome to the stream. But like, I'm not lucky with girls. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm lucky, so to say, but like, I've had past girlfriends though. But anyway, as I was saying, you know, we was sitting there talking, right, and you know, we kind of went back over there. She was like, "You want something to eat?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna take your food or nothing, right?" And she was like, no. She's like, I want you to eat with me. And I was like, okay, I won't decline, right? And so you know, we sat there and ate. I think it was like hot dogs and chips. I think it was, if I remember correctly. What we ate, I guess, is not important. But anyway, we sat there and then we finished eating. And then she was like, she just looked at me and she's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. She was like, to your question. I was like, I don't necessarily remember asking anything in this second, but, like, what exactly are you meaning? Like my question beforehand that I asked, or like, because I don't remember asking a question just now. And then she was like, yeah. She was like, your question before, like, if you wanted to like get together.
Mama now.
And I was like, so you want to become a thing then? And you know, she was like, yeah. And then like, it was like right in her kitchen. Like we got together. I know it's kind of a weird place, but anyway, so we got together, and you know, I lived like 25-30 minutes of a walk distance from her, and I would literally walk this distance literally every day. Like, and a lot of times, like, it was like after a while, like a short period, it wasn't too long, she would ask me to like stay the night. She would ask me to stay like several days, then several weeks, and then it just got to where I was just like I just pretty much lived there, right? Like I was there most of my time. And all this stuff, and then you know, we was talking, and then I found out something about her, that she like smoked cigarettes or something, and I was like, look, I'll be honest with you, I don't really like that you smoke, right? Like, it's kind of a deal breaker for me, I'm not gonna lie. At first, she necessarily wasn't willing to quit, but then, like, after a little bit of time, she did quit. She wasn't like a heavy smoker or anything, but so she like quit and stuff, and then I was like, okay, you know, that's good. I'm glad, like, you know, because I cared about her health and whatnot, right? And then, you know, we was sitting there, and then one night, you know, like I'm not gonna lie, like I said, this story took place like a lot when I was not Christian, so. You know, we was of the type, I'll be honest, we was fornicating left and right. How this girl did not get pregnant is beyond me. You'll know why I say that here soon. But I don't doubt women who smoke, but it's good she quit. It's difficult to kick the smoking habit, but smoking who smoked for a very long time. Oh, well, after you hear the rest of the story, you'll probably change your comment there. It's not necessarily to do with smoking, but anyway. So, like, you know, we was sitting there, I mean, we was like, I'm trying to think of how to say this. Like, we was like doing that, like being intimate, right? Like cats and dogs, man. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, it was like several times a damn day. Like, maybe like 7-8 times a day. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I'm being dead serious. And I'll be honest, I became addicted to doing this with her, like, completely. And anyway, like, so, you know, there was like times where it was like we was being very intimate and stuff. Like I said, I wasn't a Christian at this time, so yeah, anyway, I know that I shouldn't have done that stuff, but anyway. like there was this friend she had a boyfriend and stuff, and then she ended up moving. They ended up moving in too with us or whatever, and then they would sleep in the living room, and then me and Taylor had the bedroom all to ourselves, right? So, like I mentioned before, there were a lot of times, you know, where this guy would end up beating on the wall, and he would be like, "Hey, you know, y'all need to quiet down in there." Like, I mean, if I can't necessarily say word for word, but if you get what I mean, she was pretty loud, so to say. That's all I'll say. But anyway, yeah, like it's like this story is like it's honestly one that I hate to tell, to be honest, because it's like it's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of embarrassing, and like it's about to be bad. Yeah, it's about to be bad. Yeah, I'm about to get to like the bad stuff, right? But anyway, I would, you know, but anyway, like I said, you know, anyway, this girl ended up, you know, I ended up moving her out, right? And then she kind of moved in with me for a little bit. And then like a little bit later, she started kind of acting off and all this stuff. And then I didn't necessarily think anything of it, right? I didn't really think anything of it. And but anyway, we kept going on, you know, dating and stuff, and then come to find out, you know, I was like, you know what, something's not right here. I'm gonna have to like do some digging, right? And come to find out, because this girl, she had moved everything she owned, which wasn't much. She had moved everything in like in my bedroom, literally. Like that was all she had, literally. Like all her things fit in my bedroom. Like, I'm not even joking. But anyway, so I do some digging, and I find out that she's cheating on me and stuff, right? So I'm like, wow, you know, that's just some crap right there. Like, after all I did for her, you know, and all this, right? That's how she repays me and stuff. So I found out she's cheating, and she went with her parents to go do something, right? And she come to find out, the people she was staying with was not her real parents. And I still don't necessarily know who these people were, to be honest. But like this house that they live in, remember this house that they lived in, because I'm going to tell a story about this that goes along with this later on, right? So anyway, I found out she's cheating on me and stuff, right? And like I've got messages to prove it and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, you know, if that's how you're going to be with me, okay, I got you. And, you know, it was actually raining outside that day, and I sat there and was like, yeah, I'm going to I'm gonna call her out on her BS, right? So I sat there and I messaged her, and it's like, you know, I know you're cheating on me. And she's like, well, what are you talking about? And I was like, don't play dumb with me. I'm not stupid. Like, and I sent her them messages, and then she was like, oh, that's not what you think. I'm like, well, that's pretty damn obvious that you're doing this, right? So, I mean, it's just, anyway, she's like, well, we'll talk about this when I get home. And I was like, no, there's not going to be any talking about this. I said, I'm throwing your shit out in the rain, and you can come get it. I don't care what ruins. I don't care. I don't really care. And she was like, don't do that. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I was like, as a matter of fact, I'm actually already starting. And so I take all her shit, right? I throw it out in the freaking rain by the driveway, and I'm like, come pick it up, because I'm not bringing it to you. You're not stepping a foot back in my bedroom or nothing. Like, no, we're done here, right? And so she comes and picks the stuff up in the rain. She's like, you didn't have to do that. That was extremely rude. And I was like, extremely rude? I said, what's extremely rude and effed up is the fact you cheated on me when I sat here and came to you in good faith, told you that, hey, the person you was with was cheating on you, and, you know, I was good to you, right? And, you know, so we quit talking for a little bit, and then she messages me again, and she's like, you know, I'm really sorry for what I did and stuff. And then it was like, so I'm going to be honest here, and, you know, like, I miss you, all this stuff. She was like saying, I would have done the same to someone who betrayed me. Yeah, same, dude, yeah. Like, it wasn't rude. It's just common sense. And, you know, like, another thing, too, is, like, you know, she was messaging me and, like, saying, you know, she was sorry and stuff, and then I was like, okay. I was like, okay, and I was like, so, what you're wanting me to come over, like, obviously, like, where are you at? Like, and I'm gonna be honest, why I went over there is because, like I mentioned earlier, I became addicted to so-called making love with this woman. That's why I went over. I can admit that. Like I said, I was not a Christian when I was dating. Like, I mean, I believed in God, so to say, to a degree, but, like, I was still more on the side of, like, I was an atheist, obviously. Like, it just wasn't serious. Like, I just, like, well, I mean, if I kind of believe and then I kind of don't at the time. But, like, anyway, that's not necessarily really important, I don't guess. But she wanted me to come. I was like, well, so what? You want me to walk 30 minutes to this place? And then she was like, no. She's like, I moved back in with my mother. And then I was like, didn't your mom, like, already live beside of you? I don't understand. And then she's like, no, that's not my real mom. And I was like, okay, then who the hell is it? And then she was like, well, that's a friend of mine who is friends with my aunt or whatever, right? And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever. Anyway, so I was like, okay, so where exactly do I need to go? And then she was like, no, she's like, I'm going to come get you. And I was like, how the hell are you going to come get me? You don't even drive, right? And she was like, my mother's going to come get you. And I'm like, okay, so how long do I got to get ready? Like, I need to shower and stuff, right? So she's like talking about how she wanted to talk about, like, what happened and stuff. And I was naive and dumb at this point. Like, I'll be honest. But I guess there was some small sliver of hope that, you know, she changed and wouldn't do this again, right? So anyway, she was over here. She told me she lived in a town about 50 minutes away from me. And I was like, damn. I was like, I mean, that's not really that bad of a distance, but I was like, if your mom lives that far, then why the hell were you living all the way in the town that I was in, right? And anyway, so her and her mom's there in like 53 minutes, I think, 54 minutes, something like that. And I get in this car, I get in the van with them, right? And then, you know, we're sitting there talking, and all this kind of jazz, right? And we eventually get over there to her mom's house, and it was like her mom's house was a lot more neater than the people she was staying with. And I thought to myself, well, why doesn't she just live here? I had a lot of questions, right? And anyway, so I laid down on the couch, like, because I needed to lay down, and her mother was in the kitchen or something. Like, she's like, lay down on the couch, kick your feet up or something, you know, do what you gotta do. And I was like, okay, I appreciate that. Her mom was actually pretty nice. Like, I don't really have a problem with her mom. But, I didn't really have a problem with her at the time. But, anyway, I was laying down on the couch, and then this Taylor girl, she comes over there and she like kind of sits down. And I was like, I can move my feet, you know. And then she was like, I'm not going to sit down. I was like, okay, you just sat down on the couch. I was like, and then she just like, completely just starts cuddling me, right? And I'm like, so wait a minute, you know, you're gonna sit here and cuddle me, and then, you know, we haven't even talked yet about this issue. And she's like, well, what do you think I'm about to do? And I was like, I don't freaking know, I'm not in your mind. And, you know, we sat there and talked about it, right? And then I was like, okay, I'll give this girl a benefit of the doubt. Big mistake, by the way. And come to find out, she was still texting other men. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make the best of the time that I'm here. And, you know, it got to the point to where, you know, we was obviously doing that intimate stuff again. And, I mean, it got to the point, y'all, like, I'm not even joking. Like, you know, we would do it like in every section of her mom's house. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I know that may be too much information. I'm trying not to really spill a lot of information with that, because that's kind of not where I really want this video to go. But, anyway, like, you know, say the bedroom, got to go in the shower, right? You know, start washing, bam. End up doing it again, right? And then, like, gotta wash all over again, right? And then, bam, as soon as we get out, already doing it again, right? Like, and it was like, you know, I'll admit it. It was pure lust for me. I'll admit it. And, I had, caught her talking to them other men, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to bide my time, because that was my ride home at the time, right? And I was like, I'm just going to bide my time, just wait till I can go home, and all this stuff, right? Well, here's where a big major red flag came about. And so I was laying on the couch watching cartoons. Her niece and nephews were about I don't know, 7, 8, 9, maybe one of them was 10, I think. And they were glued to the TV. I mean, completely glued to the cartoon. Like, they was oblivious to everything going around them. And I was just kind of laying on the couch with a blanket over me, just kind of watching the cartoons with them. Like, because I just didn't have anything else better to do, right? Like, I didn't have none of my video games or nothing with me. And so, kid you not, this girl Taylor I'm dating, she comes over there, right? And she gets under the covers with me, and she's like, you know, you want to do it again? I'm like, well, no, not right now. I mean, there's kids here, obviously. Like, and she's like, oh, don't worry about a thing. They're going to just be glued to the TV. I'm like, I was sitting there kind of just stunned. Like, I didn't necessarily know what to think. And I was like,
Round 2.
I was just kind of speechless there for a moment. And then she just starts, like, I mean, completely, like, I can't necessarily say what she did on stream. But, and it was like, you know, I was like, yeah, this is, something's off here. This is not normal. Like, I was like, look, I'm not going to sit here and do this in front of children, right? And, so it was like, you know, I kind of went to I kind of just went to go to the shower, you know, obviously, and then, you know, because they wasn't in the shower, right? Or in the bathroom or nothing. And, you know, did the same thing, and it was like, you know, I was like, this is kind of just, like, honestly, I started feeling like some hardcore regret. And I went home, right? Eventually. And, sorry, I got hiccups. I went home eventually, and I got home. I called her, and I just called her out on every red flag she had. The fact that she tried to do that with children in the room, the fact that she, like, it was kind of like we was just kind of like friends with benefits in a way. Like, that's kind of what it felt like in a way, like, but just not. Like, I mean, we was dating, but anyway, I called her out on, like, talking to all these dudes, right? And then just, I called her out, like, you know, I was like, just not being serious about me, and I was like, you know, I shouldn't have even came and told you, about, you know, you was being cheated on. I should have just let it happen. I mean, because, you know, you did the same thing to me. So, anyway, so we break up after that, right? And, after this, I actually, you know, forgot about her after I got with the girl Victoria, the one I talked about in the previous dating experience video, and she
Round 1. Ready?
she moved back to Michigan, where she was from, and I was like, okay, but anyway, I had got I was like, you know, after I sat there and thought about it, I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to go to the doctor. Like, because it's like, you know, if she was cheating on me, I mean, she could have very well been, like, being sexual with other guys, right? So I was like, you know, I just gotta go to make sure, just, like, it was really bothering me, so to say. And so I went, and I was all good, and I was like, thank the Lord, like, it was just, it was a terrible experience, but it was very eye-opening, because it's like, you know, even when you try to help people, they will betray you. This can even be friendship-wise, dating-wise. whatever, you know, and say if it's dating wise, you get with this person, they may even betray you, like, and it was just like, you know, I told that in good faith. I honestly, I shouldn't have done it, to be honest. I should have just let it happen. Thinking back on it after those years, but like, anyway. You know, she didn't necessarily ruin my life, so to say. But, like, I mean, the fact that she cheated on me did hurt. I will say that. But, like, the fact, like I mentioned before, that it was more so of lust than anything. I think it takes a very open and honest guy to admit that. Like, a lot of people will not admit that, right? And it's like, I figured I would just, you know, be honest, right?
That grace and power, you've got zip.
And, you know, I thought I would be, you know, genuine as well. And so, yeah, like, I mean, it was just an overall bad dating experience, and honestly, I wish I'd never met this person. And the weird thing is, as many times as we did that, she actually goes up to Michigan, right? And I mean, immediately as she's doing this with some other guy, she immediately gets pregnant, right? And it was like, yeah, I did my research to find out if that kid was actually mine, to be honest. You know, because she would have been the type, I guess, to hide that from me. But, anyway, like, I'm glad I didn't have a kid with this person, obviously, and whatnot, but, yeah, this was a very toxic dating experience for me. I mean, like I mentioned before, I wasn't necessarily deeply in love with this person. I wasn't with this person long enough to just be completely and all and deeply in love with them. I'm glad that it didn't get to that point, to be honest, like it did with the other girl, Victoria, I mentioned. But like, yeah, guys, you gotta watch these for these things, y'all. Like, it's an evil world we live in, and you know, same thing with women. They gotta watch out for these men doing this kind of stuff too. Like, it's just, it's crazy, like how somebody can sit there and betray a person like that and such. But yeah, she
Home to mama now.
I don't know what she's doing now, but I haven't spoken to her since 2013. And then I seen one time, like it was back in 2015, like when I was with that girl Victoria, she had added me on, I think it was some social media site I was using. It might have been like Facebook, I think, back when I did social media. Like, I did it a little bit. Like, I wasn't wild about social media, but like I did do some of it at some point. I've never really done like Twitter, or I've tried out Instagram, but like I just didn't like it. I think it's a stupid app, to be honest. I've never done TikTok, even though that's kind of newer, but like Facebook I've done. MySpace back in the day I was big into, but that was more so of like for music, and you could talk to some pretty interesting people on MySpace back in the day. But never was really big on Facebook. But anyway, like, it was just a very toxic dating experience for me, and I honestly wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And I mean, I get it. I was in the wrong too for like certain things, for being lustful, obviously. Like, I shouldn't have been that way. Like, I shouldn't have let it got to that point, is what I'm saying. I mean, I can't really sit here and go into depth with content like that on YouTube. So, yeah, it was just, it was a very toxic experience. And, like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And all that stuff, right? So, yeah, just make sure y'all watch out who you're really, when you're dating someone, make sure you're watching and keeping a close eye out for red flags, for any odd behaviors, cheating, and anything like that, right? So, yeah, anyway, like, if anybody has any questions about it, like, I don't mind to really answer them.
Better run home to Mama.
Other than that, though, like, I guess this concludes the story. There's not really a whole lot more I could really tell, like, unless you, like, ask a question or something. But, like, it was overall, it was just a bad experience, right? It was a bad joke. So,
Round 2. Ready, go!
will be alright. Are you trying to ask if I will be alright, or...
Ring out.
I've got you.
Oh yeah, man, I'll be completely alright. This was a story that happened back in 2012 and 2013, right? No, I've long done healed from the pain of that one. Like my other story that I did, I don't know if you've seen it, but like I did another dating experience video, and it was about a girl that I actually was deeply in love with, right? And to be honest with you, I'm kind of still healing from the pain that woman has caused me today. Like, and that took place back in 2013, 14. And I'm literally still healing from that. And I'm even married now, so... But,
Round 2. Ready,
yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm completely fine when it comes to... when it comes to this girl, Taylor. Like, I don't care anymore. But, I figured I would get on here and tell it, because, the last video I did with my ex, Victoria, the one I was deeply in love with, and, people seem to really like that, so I was like, why not do it again and just tell another one. So I'll probably end up just kind of telling a lot more of them. I hope you hear what exactly.
Enjoyed it.
round 1.
But like, yeah, I'm completely fine. I appreciate you asking though. If you're not subbed to the channel, consider subscribing if you like the content. Like, I don't just sit here and talk about serious stuff like this all the time. I actually do other stuff with anime and whatnot, but use my space.
Ready, go!
Use my space back then. I mean, heal. Oh, you talking about from the Taylor girl? Or are you talking about from the dating experience video that I did, which was part 1 about Victoria?
I'm no pushover, sweetie.
Oh no, I don't have any pain from the Taylor girl. It's the Victoria girl that I have still got pain from. It just further goes to show if you're a man and you've been completely heartbroken by a woman, like, I think it takes a long time to get over it. I mean, you could even be married and still, like, not be over the pain. Like, you're not in love with them, but, like, and you don't care about them in a certain way, but, like, you're still dealing with the pain of what they put you through, right? But as far as the Taylor girl goes, no, like that pretty much ended pretty quickly. I wasn't really in pain. Like I kind of moved on pretty quickly from that, to be honest, because like I mentioned before, it was mostly just lust. Like I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. Like I was guilty of, you know, being lustful like that, but like, because I let it get to that point, right?
Enjoy this. Trust me. Ready?
Like I mean, I'm not talking about just kind of doing it once, or you know, like you mess up. I'm talking about like doing this 7, 8, 9 times a day, like a day. You know, so yeah, like. I'm good though when it comes to this. I just figured I would tell the story though, because a lot of people did seem to really watch the Victoria one that I did. So yeah, I figured I would go ahead and do this one, but like yeah.
Excellent.
Does anybody have like any questions for me they want to know, or because I don't mind to tell them.
You'll never be a match for me. I'm no push.
Round 1. Ready, go!
Feel bad feelings, was it because you were lonely, Dusty? Honestly, I mean, yes, I can say that that was partially the reason too. Is I was kind of lonely. Like I was lonely because see, I didn't really date because like the town where I'm from, I moved out of back in 2010, and I kind of wasn't able to really date anybody, considering the fact that like the girl that I was dating, I missed her. Like, and you know, even that girl I wasn't as in love with as I was like this Victoria girl that I mentioned in my previous video. So like, yeah, I mean, it's just it's just crazy stuff, but I mean, I'll probably end up telling all these stories, I guess, if as long as people want to hear it, I guess. But like, yeah, it's just maybe it'll be eye-opening for people, and it can help people what to stay away from, right? But like, yeah, this girl Taylor, she had so many red flags that it wasn't even funny. But I honestly, like, I started noticing them as, you know, time went on when we was dating, right? Because she didn't show anything like this at all when we first got together. She didn't show anything like this at all until, like, she moved in with me, right? So, yeah. But yeah, that pretty much concludes that story. Really, there's not really anything else to tell, to be honest, when it comes to that story. So, yeah, just watch out for when people, you know, are like, if you're a man and all these women, this woman you're with, sorry, is, you know, talking to like all these dudes, obviously, like, just bounce. Ditch, bail, whatever you want to call it. Like, get the heck out of Dodge, whatever you want to whatever way you want to say it, right?
You're ready.
Just do that for yourself, because if you don't,
Round one.
you know, you're gonna be in for a world of hurt if you just ignore it. Like, but like, yeah, it's crazy that you could come to somebody in good faith like that and, you know, help them out, and then you end up getting with a man like a man gets with this girl that was just cheated on, right? And it's like, you know, the girl cheats on him, and it's like, you know, what the actual hell, like, but like, yeah, it's just, it's a crazy world we live in, y'all. That's what it boils down to. But
You'll never
if there's any other things like this that you would like me to talk about, like I said, I do plan to be doing more like anime content and stuff, because that's what the channel's for. You know, sometimes I do sit and do videos like this. I'll sit and talk about experience or something I've got a lot of knowledge on, right?
ready for this?
I'm late, but here for the tea. Oh, well, you came right at the point where the story was over. Will you teach others like me red flags in the video? Yeah, sure. Like, I've got a lot of things I've talked about. Like, we've talked about stuff like breadcrumbing. I've talked about stuff like roaching. You know, different topics like cheating, narcissism. So much stuff I've talked about. But like, yeah, I can definitely do that. I can definitely do a video on like red flags at some point, because honestly, really, I probably need to be honest, since I'm talking about this stuff. But like,
Try again in a few years.
I mean, that's what, I don't know if you just kind of stumbled upon this channel and you're not really into like the anime content or whatever. Like, I mean, that's kind of the whole root of this channel.
Round one. Ready, go!
But like, yeah, if you like that type of content, like, and you're an otaku and stuff, consider subscribing, man. Or if you're a girl, I don't really know. But like, yeah, I try to talk about this stuff. Oh, okay, gotcha. I didn't recognize your name. Sorry. Yeah, I can definitely do a video about that, man. Now I know who you are. I can definitely do a video about that. Marissa said no. Yeah, sorry, Marissa. You kind of missed the story. It was a story that took place when I wasn't a Christian, so you can go back and watch it. But I mean,
Home to mama now.
I can't really be too explicit about the story. That's the problem. Like, it's YouTube, so I can't do that. But like, I can just kind of drop like a hint or something. But like, that's all I can really do. But yeah, like, to be honest, I will probably do like. Do y'all like this type of content? Like, do y'all really like when I talk about a lot of these topics like this? Because, like I did say, I plan to still talk about it, but I plan to start kind of moving more forward towards like reviews, unboxings, gameplay videos, stuff like that. So, understandable, yes, I will watch it back. Yeah. It's just, it was a nightmare experience for me, Marissa. It was a nightmare experience for me. And it's like, you know, if I could go back in time, I would honestly slap myself in the head. Like the moment that I would thought that girl was hot, I would slap myself in the head for that. Like, I'd be like, you know, nope, don't do it. Like, but like, you know, like I said, you know, it was more so of lust than love. And, you know, I'll admit I was lonely. I was still thinking about like the girl that I was dating before in my other town. I was still thinking about other girls that I've known in life. back then, and it was like, you know, my heart was still over there. And so to say, I guess you could say, have the same regret. Yeah, that's unfortunate. All we can do is just move forward, though, and ask for forgiveness and move on and try to live a better life. Yeah, like,
Ready, go!
the next one I will probably do is, now this other one, I'm going to be honest, there is one other girl that I dated that I was kind of in love with. Not to the point to like I was with Victoria, because I knew Victoria longer, right? But I plan on talking about her next, right? In another video. This girl that I'm going to talk about next, in the next video when I do this topic again, this was the only girl that I had ever dated other than my wife that did not cheat on me. So it was
Round one.
it took place before when I met Taylor, actually. It took place before that even. And yeah, it's just like, yeah, stick around if you're into that kind of content. So, yeah, anyway, like I said, that's going to end the story. So,
Round two. Ready, go!
I figured I would get on here and kind of just jabber about it, I guess, and such. But, yeah, I guess we all have regrets to some degree. I mean, if you're human, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess we've all dated people that it's like, you know, what did I see in them, or why did I even date them? Men and women both do this, so it's not just a men thing, I'll say that. We're almost at 500 wins here with a 100% win ratio. That's pretty dope. Yeah, that'll conclude this video, I guess. And we will tomorrow we will be doing
Round two. Ready, go!
trying to think of what it was. Oh, stream and chat, right? Yeah, stream and chat. Just about random things, I guess. Just chat about whatever, you know.
Home to mama now.
So, yeah. Also, been having a trouble uploading a video. The Sonic review, right? So I don't know what the heck's going on, like, with my dang upload, but it's like it seems to be doing better now, but like earlier it was kind of weird a little bit. It was like taking forever, and I was like, yeah, I'll just upload this video like tomorrow when it's doing better. So as long as everything's going good, the Sonic video will be uploaded tomorrow sometime earlier in the day, right? Yeah, anyway, just remember to stay safe out there, y'all, and remember just to really pay attention to people's red flags. Pay attention to, this can be dating-wise, friendship-wise, family-wise, you know, co-worker-wise. You know, it can be really all of it, really. So, yeah, just try to stay safe and protect yourself from these types of people, because they're literally everywhere. They're all around us, right? I mean, it's like everywhere you go, it's like there's a lot of people like this. So anyway, I'm gonna end this video here,
Ready, go!
and I'll be streaming again tomorrow. I can not stop yawning. Be streaming again tomorrow, like I said. Also, I'll probably be doing 2 live streams tomorrow, because we are going to review the little pushing drink that I bought tomorrow. So
In a few years.
I'll probably be doing a live stream on that as well, and later on in the night I'll do the
Seconds you'll last. Are you ready for
live
this?
stream of just kind of chatting and talking and stuff on here. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna end this one here, obviously, and like I said, just stay safe and stuff. But yeah, God bless you all, and I'll see you all next time. But yeah, take care, y'all. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Peace.